You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.
The options market can be a confusing place. Sorting through the daily avalanche of data, alerts, updates, articles, and analysis to find the most important information is an overwhelming prospect. But now you have help. Welcome to the Options News Rundown, the only program that breaks through the noise to bring you the most important news and information from the world of options. Every day, we bring you the top 5 option stories curated by the options experts at theoptionsinsider.com, the premier source for options information. The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in options trading education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's Live Advantage Group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider. And now it's time to break through the noise. It's time for your Options News Rundown.
Good morning. Today is Thursday, May 23rd, 2019. This is your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli. Our first story of the day is from investing.com. It's the top 5 things to know in the market on Thursday. The first thing to know is PMIs deepen trade war gloom. Another round of gloomy business surveys in Europe reinforced fears that the effects of the U.S.-China trade conflict are spreading across the world economy. The Eurozone Purchasing Managers Index for manufacturing fell to 47.7 in May, disappointing hopes that the worst of the slowdown was over. Germany's IFO business climate also worsened. Elsewhere, Japanese electronics giant Panasonic indicated that it too would partly curtail business with Huawei, although it told a different story on its Chinese website. The news follows the decision of various network carriers to pull Huawei's latest smartphones from their 5G offerings. Meanwhile, the Wall Street Journal reported that Cenex Labs, a chip startup backed by Microsoft and Dell, had accused the senior executive at Huawei of conspiring to steal its trade secrets. Wall Street is set to open lower is the second thing to know today. It was pre-open and continues on. The stock market was set for another rocky session on Thursday after the PMI disappointments in Japan and Europe dragged bourses lower again. Best Buy, Medtronic, and HP lead a thinning list of companies reporting on Thursday as the first quarter earnings season draws to a close. The third thing to know today is Fed minutes indicate no rate change soon. Minutes from the Federal Reserve's last policy meeting at the start of the month indicated that the Fed is still some way from a shift towards cutting interest rates, despite a rally in short-dated bonds this month that seems to assume it will. At the meeting, which predated the sharp escalation of the U.S.-China trade conflict later in May, policymakers indicated that they were comfortable with the current level of rates and expected the string of weak inflation readings at the start of the year to be temporary. The bond market has resumed its bets on monetary easing this morning, with 2-year Treasury yields falling 4 basis points to 2.19%, their lowest in a week. The fourth thing to know today is FAA signals long grounding for the 737 MAX. Boeing 737 MAX aircraft may be idled for much longer than many of the airlines that use them have reckoned. Daniel Elwell, acting head of the Federal Aviation Authority, told reporters that Boeing had not yet submitted a fix for the software problem that is suspected of causing 2 fatal crashes, and added that the FAA hasn't yet decided whether to order fresh training for pilots when the fix is ready, a potentially time-consuming drill. The FAA is due to meet with 30 other international air regulators Thursday. The European Aviation Safety Agency has already indicated it won't let the 737 MAX fly again before it has independently checked the remedial measures. The fifth thing to know today is rough winds do shake the dueling buddies of May. What are they talking about? The world's largest election is over, and its second largest is about to begin. The first has resulted in a landslide victory for incumbent Prime Minister Narendra Modi, which has pushed European stocks to new record highs. The second to the European Parliament begins today and isn't likely to encourage confidence in any financial asset beyond safe havens. The elections are set to see another rise in votes for populist parties, largely of a nationalist and right-wing hue. In the UK, the polls should give the coup de grace to Prime Minister Theresa May, whose Conservatives are trailing in fifth place, according to some opinion polls. May's most senior party ally at the House of Commons, Andrea Leadsom, resigned on Wednesday, rather than reintroduce the EU withdrawal agreement bill to the House for a fourth vote. Leadsom's move strengthens her hand in the looming battle for the Conservative Party leadership. The British pound slid to a new 5-month low against the dollar in early trade in Europe. Our second story of the day expounds a bit on something we talked about earlier. It's from investing.com. Fed minutes show concerns bellying Powell's confidence in hitting 2% inflation. Federal Reserve Chair Jeremy Powell doubtless spoke for the many when he said at the press conference ending the monetary policy meeting earlier this month that policymakers believe inflation will return to the central bank's 2% target over time. But there is much in the minutes of that meeting that belly his confidence inflation will hit that target anytime soon. Markets were little moved as the minutes of that meeting of the Federal Open Market Committee released on Wednesday after the usual 3-week lag confirmed Powell's comments. However, the minutes also show that some participants expressed concern that long-term inflation expectations could be below levels consistent with the committee's 2% target or at risk of falling below that level. Policymakers believe that expectations go a long way to determine actual inflation. And our final story of the day is from investing.com. Tesla plunges as analyst delivery warning adds to week of losses. Tesla Inc. dropped 4.4% in U.S. pre-market trading as analysts at Loop Ventures and Morgan Stanley gave increasingly bearish commentary on the U.S. electric car maker. Loop Ventures co-founder Gene Munster wrote in a note that Tesla will probably miss its 2019 delivery target range as sales shrink in China amid a trade war between the two countries. The analyst cut his estimate for Tesla's full-year global car sales by about 10% to 310,000 vehicles. That's versus the minimum of 360,000 unit target for the manufacturer set in March. The shares are poised for their 7th day of losses and are down 27% over the past month. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is news you can use for today, Thursday, May 23rd, 2019, your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli, trade smart, and have a great day.
The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in options trading education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's Live Advantage Group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider.
The preceding program was a production of the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions at theoptionsinsider.com.